boys, what you want? What you want to do? Sentinels coming to a city or town near you. You got dangerous mutants in the area. The Sentinels on the way. They on the job. Sentinels, number one. Roll that intro, cuz. Yeah. What's going on, Geek Corner members? This is your boy, Earth Mac, the mad scientist. Welcome back to the Orange Phoenix channel, where we talk about all things of geek culture. And during the week, we talk about comic books, whether it's Marvel or DC or Indies, you name it, we're going to talk about it. If you are a new visitor to this channel, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell, and go ahead and hit those comments. Let us know what you think about the video that we presented to you, and check out the past videos as well. And you might want to stick around to the end of this video, because we will have a comic book recommendation at the end. Now, today, we're going to talk about Sentinels number one. Now, I did put out a video a few weeks ago, I would say like a month or so ago, previewing Sentinels number one, trying to gauge the audience of how they feel about a Sentinels comic coming out. And it is here, ladies and gentlemen. It is here. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So if you're asking me, is this going to revolutionize the comic book industry? Is this the next big thing? The answer will be no. Will it play a part in the mythos? Will it play a part in the storyline that they are trying to tell post-Krakoan age? The answer is yes. The next question is, did this comic jump the shark just a little bit? The answer is yes. And we're definitely going to cover that. Now, to be honest with you, it's going to be very difficult for us as the reader to view Sentinels in a different type of light, because as long as we've been around on this earthly plane, Sentinels have been public enemy number one when it came down to mutants. They have hunted mutants, they have killed mutants, they have captured mutants, they have done all things unimaginable to mutants. So for them to have their own comic book, you're gonna have to stay somewhat true to it. And they sort of kind of did, because these Sentinels are not entirely robotic. These are human volunteers that have cybernetic enhancements, and each of these cyborgs have abilities. But their primary directive is not to hunt all mutants. Their primary directive, has been told by Trask, is to hunt down dangerous mutants. And even with that, that comes with a little bit of questions being raised. It's like, how do you determine this mutant is a danger to society? Like, who determines that? Like, are you judge, jury, and executioner once again? Like, the intentions might be there. The good intentions might be there, trying to maintain the relation between mutants and humans. But at the same time, you're still doing the same thing over and over. And the first mutant that they start with is Omega Red. Of all mutants, you're going to start with Omega Red, one of the most dangerous mutants on Earth. Like we're talking Wolverine's enemy. We're talking about the X-Men's enemy. Now, there's been a little bit of shift, like at the end of Krakoan age. Like, he's more like an anti-hero. He's not totally a good guy, but he's not totally a bad guy at the same time. But to backtrack just a little bit, this comic has some very familiar artwork. Now, when I look at this artwork, it does give me that 90s aesthetic on how it looks, like the facial expressions and how the cyborgs was jumping in and stuff like that. So I do commend the artist for this. Now, also with this particular group of Sentinels, this also gives me an 80s military aesthetic when it comes to movies is concerned. You know how you get a group of military personnel and there's always that one shaky dude, the one that's kind of like twitchy all the time? That's what you're going to get with Shellback. Like, Shellback just had an issue going on personally, and he's being questioned on, why are you on this mission trying to capture Omega Red, dude? Like, who authorized this? Why is he there? And typically when there's a shaky dude in the group, he's the first victim to go, because Omega Red put his tentacles on that man, and it was a wrap from there. So everybody is scrambling, trying to take out Omega Red. and they're having a hard time as predicted. Now, they finally capture Omega Red, but the thing about it is Shellback is having a bunch of machines like squirming all on his face at the end of the day. Like, what is going on with this guy? And come to find out, this is actually a grafting. So grafting is when the cybernetic enhancements completely take over the human body and they become complete machines. And this is not the first time this has happened, but when this does happen, a difficult choice has to be made. So Shellback gets unalived, but at the request of Shellback. Now, you don't see that in this comic, but when it comes down to the leader of the cyborgs, well, when you talk about the leader of the cyborgs, you talk about Lockstep. Like, Lockstep is the leader of that outfit, and he questions his subordinate, like, hey, why did you shoot him in the face? Like, what happened here? Like, I didn't authorize that. And Void says, listen, I made a difficult choice. You wasn't going to do it. I might as well do it. And on top of all that, Shellback told me personally, if this ever happens to me, I'm going to need you to be the one that pulled the trigger. So even though it pissed Lockstep off that this has to happen, it got to be some part of him that feels like, you know what? Void is correct on this. I don't have to like it, but he's absolutely correct. But at the same time of Shellback pretty much being unalived, he's already replaced by Patricia Pham. Already. Now, this is like right after this mission. This is right after they capture Omega Red. So that lets you know that the Sentinels here is totally expendable. Now, is there any redeeming qualities about any of these cyborg hunters of mutants? Maybe Lockstep, because Lockstep seems like he has a little bit of morale about himself. Like, listen, we don't do this, we don't do that. I don't like how things going off. Now we get to Larry Trask, which is the son of Bolivar Trask. And he goes on to state, my father, Bolivar Trask, designed the original Sentinels for one purpose, mutant extermination. The old fool mistook mutants for wolves, even when his own son's mutation, my mutation, became apparent. Until recently, mutant kind was simply a village on the other side of a dark forest. And you go over to a meeting that he has, and he says, it's a statement of fact. You see this. I'm a mutant, remember? When I'm not wearing it, I see futures. Thousands of them all at once. Hurts like hell. When Xavier resurrected me back on Krakoa, he told me I deserved a second chance. I was still slick with Yoke. When I started having visions of the mutants who would take us to the brink of extermination, that's why I restarted the Sentinel program. But I also saw other things. Tech stocks, oil futures, locations of vibranium and lithanium deposits, crop failures, and precog on the payroll would give us quite the competitive advantage, would it not? So Larry Trask has some sort of reasoning on creating this Sentinel program. Now, this goes back to the grafting. Grafting is a issue right now. And it's just like, oh, we just started this new program. And in any new program, there are hiccups. There are glitches in the system. And grafting is a major glitch. And he calls it emotional regulation and something that it can be fixed along the way. But his mission with this Sentinel militia is to hunt down dangerous mutants, more specifically mutants that will bring the human population and mutant population to the brink of extermination, which goes to show that Omega Red did break loose along with the Blob. The Blob caused that distraction, but again, Omega Red is subdued. But Patricia Pham, the newest member of the Sentinel program, she had a vision. And this is what I mean by jumping the shark. The vision that she saw was Onslaught. Now, I feel like in some ways, maybe this was put in place to say, oh my God, I got to go pick up Sentinels #1. But I would say Onslaught wasn't needed. I would say maybe Onslaught could be used much later, because Onslaught is a big bad. Onslaught would cause havoc. And it's basically the combination of Charles Xavier and Magneto. I mean, is it too early just to reveal that? I say yes. Is Sentinels #1 worth the read? It's an acquired taste. I would say that. I'm not going to downgrade the comic whatsoever. I'm not going to say the comic is trash, but I will say it is an acquired taste. That I enjoy the comic. I did enjoy the comic. I didn't expect Onslaught to be at the end, but it made me go out to say, you know what? I can't wait for Sentinels #2. It was a decent read. I will definitely tell you that. Now, this goes on to my comic book recommendation. And the comic book recommendation is a DC comic. And the comic I'm talking about is All-Star Superman. You can actually get this for $10 now because DC have this program called DC Compact Comics where they actually take trades the entire story or run of a specific comic book and they condense it in basically a coffee table book size, which is only $10. So go ahead and check out All-Star Superman. Another reason to check out All-Star Superman is that James Gunn did say that the new Superman movie that comes out in 2025 will pull stories out of All-Star Superman. So it will behoove you to get that All-Star Superman. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about Sentinels #1. Are you going to continue to run or are you going to actually take a step back from it? Just let us know in the comments. Do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell. So until next time, y'all, peace.